There you go again. Yeah, I want some different music. Cancel myself alone. Hello, Lucas and HB. How are you? Choosing my music. There's a vocal in it. I have powers that equal and surpass that of yours. I don't like vocals. How can I think when they talk English? For the rest, it's not really bad music, but okay. Let me try this. What shall we do next, Ash? Yeah, I have powers. I think these things need to run in their own thread. I wish there was a much easier way to jump back and forward between files. Like my cursor is here, and I would like to have a single key press, making a jump to, let's say, an associated function that calls this function, or free to pick by me. I don't know how could use C-text for that to jump, but basically I want to jump to the base class, right? Or the base class of the base class. Finally we are there. No, we're not. This is still a task. I need to go to see pipeline. The factory. Pipeline factory. Okay, if we call run like this, no, not. It's exactly what I want. Low priority queue. Yeah, exactly what we want. Except I am not sure we want to run in a low priority queue in this case. Not really sure. Let's make the medium priority. Oops. Medium priority queue. See, this isn't helping. Let's look at this state, and then in this state we run a new task, which now should be running from the medium priority queue of the application, of the thread pool. So I'm just searching for this one. Here it is, running pipeline factory initialized, and then we call run with the default handler index1, whatever that is. Which then still in the same thread we call reset, multiplex, initial run, need run, adding to thread pool. Entering AI stateful task, add task to thread pool, add to index1, the medium priority queue, I guess. And then this thread immediately goes to waiting. It waits for the signal characteristics initialized. And then it waits instead of executing the initialize. The funny thing is, however, that since this task now is waiting, what is my engine doing? It is immediately using the same thread to run whatever task was just started. So there's hardly any difference if you look at it this way. Except, of course, when we start multiple of them, multiple threads, multiple child tasks. I do have only one of them now. Anyway, okay, so this one starts running, initializing, set state to the first state that we want to run, and run it. And then all of this is running the initialize. And that takes a long time. So I guess this is the last line of that. Now it calls signal. And the very fact that we call signal causes the call to schedule run. So now the parent task must start running again. Which then calls add task to thread pool. And this task continues running. I'm starting to feel that maybe it would be nice to have the name of the task that is running in front of you, that you can see which task is running. The thing has a name. You can see it here, I think. Well, this is the base class, isn't it? But, okay. So the child task is now waiting for terminate or fill. And again, it says no need to run. Returns to the thread pool, which then immediately uses the same task to run the parent, which just woke up. It now continues with this. So the definite difference is in now that we first call wait and then we do the signal. Instead of the other way around. But For the rest, it's just the same thread, and the same things are executed in the same order. Yeah, I'm happy to see that, yeah, actually, but nothing, no CPU is wasted. It just uses the same thread. Anyhow. Masikowski? No, I didn't. The program name that I am coding is called Linux Viewer. Linux is in there because it will only run on Linux, and Viewer is in there because initially I thought that maybe I'm going to write a new Second Life viewer, but probably not. It's so far it has as good as nothing to do with Second Life. I started to add a little code actually. Let's see. This is the Vulkan engine, and we have data types here, which has Second Life stuff in it, but well, it's almost nothing. You can just delete it. I did implement logging in, so you can use it to log in into Second Life viewer. But, yeah. I need to change my profile. Too many people think that I'm a hacker, as in cracker, or breaking into, or I don't know. But then again, the whole point was to show what an actual hacker is. Someone who is programming. I'm not into criminal things. I'm just obsessed with programming. Doing difficult things with it. There was something else. Right, yeah. When I started stream, I had opened that file. Maybe this one. I think it would be nice exercise almost to change this lambda into a new state. Now this call here at set binding map callback is not doing anything. It just adds something to a vector or whatever it is. It is a vector. Puts a lambda in the vector. This is in the class flat create info. But basically it's doing nothing. This lambda is turned into a function pointer, and that is added to a vector. And now we just immediately return. We get here, we leave this scope, and we execute this and this and this and this. And then here we break out of our current state. But, well, I would still do that, I guess. What I could do is add another case, another state, which is going to execute the code that's now in this lambda. Okay, and that's the idea. Before I do that, it's probably a good idea to first commit whatever I have done now. So this is the turning it into a task changes. Yeah, I deleted this, but I'll leave it commented out, I think, because maybe it's not wrong. Instead of actually deleting it. Make a clean. Modified, a modified stateful task. That was a bug fix, yeah. It's not really a bug, huh? Push. Now let's give it a name. What did I do here? Turned characteristic range into a task. Otherwise I have only whips everywhere. I'll push it as well. I'm still bisecting. To go back to original branch. Oops. Now we are clean. Okay. New private skim site. Make. Everything works. What was the last file that I was in? So I'm going to add a new state here. Let's copy that, paste it here, and rename it. The state is called, well, whatever it's doing, set binding map callback. Maybe I should first do something else, now I think about it. So long overdue. Well, this whole use of set binding map is something that stores set binding. What I have here is a class called set binding, which contains both a set index and a binding number. But it is only used for translation for one set to another. And the binding number is never changed. In fact, I added an assert here. No, it's not that assert. No, there's nothing to do. I'll have to go to the map, I guess. I think it's only used here in the set binding map, and then I can convert Having the map, I can convert a set index hint to a set index. And I can convert a binding into another binding. And I don't think this is ever used. That is, it is used. If I rename it, it's stopping to compile because this function is probably being called somewhere. But the binding number never changes. Yeah, I have your IP too, NKit. I wrote down all IPs, or 4 billion of them. So I have your IP written down. I'll tell man. Yep, so here it is called. And the idea is then that is this the only instance? Let me check it. That was the only instance. So that would be converting this binding number into another binding number, and I think that is never used, as in cert binding equals whatever we try to change. Now that's not really a test because I have only very simple test. But no matching function for call to set binding convert. Did I not? I don't know. Just remove the 2 again, I guess. I have only 2 simple test programs, and they are definitely not testing everything that is possible. But I just vaguely remember that this binding number is it cannot be translated or is not translated. I'm 99% sure, and I'm not sure if it verifying this is worth the time. But I can at least run my 2 applications and see that they crash. Something else. Wait. Okay, this one works, and apparently FRC is broken anyway. Never reached. Characteristic range. Yeah, right. Oh no. I have to change this as well. My God, one thing after another. Yeah, and that's even more important than the set binding thing. Tests. I did not change this test application yet for the latest changes. Now, if the Vulkan engine is correct, then the only thing I should have to change in the test application is the test application itself. Oh, window.cx, it's doing nothing, absolutely nothing. Why is it even here? Let's delete this. Cannot find window.cx. It's not klopped. It's not klopped. .cx. Nope, it's literally in there. So I need to change window.h in the same way as the uniform buffer test window.h, or not. How about buffers test? Also not. Uniform buffers, no test. Yep. That's quite a change, unfortunately. So I have here a class that is derived from a Vulkan pipeline characteristic. This one too. Changes that I made. We added this direct base class type. I added all of this actually. And I made changes to the constructor, but let's not do everything at once. Let's begin with this. This class has a different name, so you want to rename a few things here. I jumped away, that's super annoying. Uniform, it jumped back. I just typed in U, so we have to copy this. Crazy. And the constructor was changed. I added the boolean and also the pipeline, but don't need that. But I'm gonna need this one, I think. Let's just copy the whole line so I don't have to remember it. Constructor. Do we even have a constructor here? Okay, people, don't flood. I'm gonna kick you out. I don't think I have a constructor. Let's add it here. And now we have to do translation again. I'm trying to tell you what I'm doing. Why would that be protected? Is this a base class? It's not a base class. So strange. Anyway, we added the constructor. Construct. Yeah, well, no, it's a constructor. Everyone sees that this is the constructor. Today I'm not answering FAQ questions that I have already answered 30 times in the last weeks. Someone else in the chat knows the answer to the FAQ questions, and please be so nice to answer them for me. Next. We need these functions as well. They are protected apparently. I'm just copying them all. This smells like a lot of code duplication, doesn't it? I don't like it because this is user code. So it would have to be done every time. It must be protected. Why was that thing protected? I'll just keep them protected. Does it really matter? I couldn't even make them private. No, I made my initialize protected, but I'm gonna delete it anyway, and here's this public again. Okay, whatever. What is this? public. No. I deleted this line and it was protected. And I was like, what? Why is it protected? And here it is again. This time public. Ridiculous. But at least that explained it. Yeah, let's not do this because I don't have any conditions yet. Do I? The previous one didn't either. I don't think we're going to have conditions. Just not. Let's not do this one. I don't know what's wrong here. I have to replace this with pipeline can stay. Frame resources count. Right, and then I have this multiplex. And that's it, we're done. Let me copy that in 2 parts. That's why I was doing it. How I can fix this, fix me. Oh my god, yeah, so much work. I just want to do it the right way, and then you get just that kind of huge amounts of work. I think the rest works. So now my whole initialize function is incorporated inside this switch here. And hopefully it will compile. Let me test it. My voice is calm. Let me think here. Compiles. Didn't even change that, idiot. FRC. Still codems. Well, that's confusing. I didn't think I really was changing anything. Pipeline factory initialized. Run that, and then we call run. Call run here. And that calls multiplex, initialize run. Add task to thread pool, set state characteristics initialized. Wait for the signal characteristics initialized. Don't need to run. So this is the child task that was started. The no need to run is the parent that just started it. And then the child task starts running. Frame resource count, pipeline characteristic initialize. Initialize, running state, initialize. And then we start do the code, the good. And that was thread pools 02, which is now busy with the partitioning thing. So I have to scroll down a bit till we get to that thread again here. Continues with initialization. Da 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 da. I don't like warnings. Warning could not find. That's definitely strange. Or are we? Yeah, I'll ignore it for now. Entering logical device. Create buffer, get buffer, allocated buffer. It's the same pointer, but we're still in the middle of doing initialization. Aren't we? Should be. Okay, there we are. I guess this is the last line then. Entering AI stateful task signal 4, characteristics initialized. So the initialize is done. And now it signals that it is now initialized. And then we run pipeline factory initialized. which raises the signal do fill. Waits for filled. That's really weird. We should only call initialize once. Yeah, that's why it crashes. We run initialize twice. Why? What is that? Okay, well, I guess I have to look at the code then. It is running this state of this task. And at the bottom is doing the exact same thing. Same object, same task, same state. Set the continuous state to characteristic fill. Why is that not highlighted, by the way? My states are not highlighted. No, now it is. To set continuous state, sets m continuous state to that state. Then we set a run state to characteristic range initialized, and we run the multiplex implementation, and that should run characteristic range multiplex implementation. Let's find that one. this one. Yeah, so it runs this state. Set state to check terminate. No way initialize is going to be run again. I don't get it. What the hell is going on here? Yeah, running characteristic range. Now they're even talking. Mostly it's good music, but then sometimes you just have to do vocals. It's too bad. This state is running, and then it does set state to frame resources, count, etc. And that therefore it goes back. So that means that this is that. That is not possible, or it should not be. That continuous state should already be set at the moment we enter here, right? So I'm adding here, notice continuous state is continuous state. Well, okay. But why? What am I doing wrong? Must be something stupid again. Definitely. Yeah, like not defining direct base type. It inherits the direct base type from the base class. I guess I should make that private then. Would that work? I think so. Should direct base type be private? Yeah, it is protected. I don't know, man. Oh, I don't know. I have a protected state type enum, and then above that we have a direct base type here. Which is totally missing here. What else can we do? Do I have to do rather? Check what is being done here. Here it is. I don't know what I did. I copied it from here and then I deleted it again. Oh, yeah, and now I remember. I was seeing this and then thinking that it was, I see the using and I see the characteristic, and that is the base class. So I was thinking that this was using the constructor of the base class. To just skip the whole part here. And then I started to complain about what? I deleted it, and then I still thought it was the constructor, and I was like, why is that constructor protected? If you remember. And then later I found it back below, and there it was public. And I was like, what? Again? And now it's public? But in fact, it was not a constructor. It was this line, so I should not have deleted it. Okay, that works still then. Okay, or still, it works again. Okay, so this assert also holds with the other test application then. There's only two. Let's edit this. Okay, so set binding map. Well, let me first commit this, I guess. No! That was one hunk, everything? Oh my god. What the shit. Okay, so let's change this set binding thing, or set binding map. Lots of lines, lots of lines. Wherever I use set binding, I don't want to have the binding anymore. Now I could call it, the whole set binding thing is just a pair of a set index and a binding number. So I don't think I need set binding at all anymore. I can just replace it with whatever it is, what it actually is. Say set binding.h. That is defined. A set index hint. So I remove this, and the only thing that's left is a set index hint. So I might as well replace set binding with set index hint. Let me start with removing the thing. See how much problems this gives. It should give a huge problems, of course, because we're no longer then have this constructor. We do not have this, and well, all the other stuff. But hey, that's the idea. So we just start compiling it, and then we should see where all the changes need to be made when I replace set binding by set index. So I no longer have this. You only have this, so we can already print it. You do not have binding. I do not need to print undefined nor binding. It's just delete. Well, for now, I'll just also comment it out. Error using set binding is using set indexint is class utils vector index has no member named set indexint. Yep, indeed it doesn't. Now it just is the set indexint. So we've set indexint used to return the set indexint. That's the only thing that we want to be left with. So the fix here is to just have I'm going to rename it though. It's not then set binding anymore. It's set index hint. And the binding is going to be removed completely. So it is actually just set index hint. So we do not have SB1 binding anymore, so we cannot pass that to add from to. I think this whole function is only intended to specify B2, so the whole function should not exist, I think. There's no member named set binding. That's true because I just deleted it. So this also has to be deleted, I guess. Thou shall not talk about the binding number. No, that's not true. What is this? Set binding. That's the one. Sorry, it was a different one. The other one took 2. This just sets the binding now. Yeah, okay, we don't have to set the binding anymore when they never change anyway. So it still has to be deleted. There's no member named setIndexHint. That is because it is a setIndexHint. That is the shader resource declaration, and we call that, and now we do setIndexBindingHint, which is actually a set binding. And that then calls setIndexHint. What? It's not even passing anything. What is this? Oh, it returns a setIndexHint. Whoops, okay. So I can just remove the binding number here. Yep. And this one is no longer, because it was renamed. What the hell is happening? 1G shift. Yeah, okay, there we are. It must be initialized with a setIndexHint. I agree with that. But I renamed it. And then that was commented out, and this one, yeah, we don't have binding anymore then. Wait a minute. I still need a binding, I think. Yeah, that's I do need a binding. I just don't want to have it in my map. I thought the whole set binding was only used in the map, but apparently I was also using it here in the shader resource declaration. Oh, well. No matching function to call to utils, vector index. Okay, we're trying to use the constructor of the old set binding. Okay. So this is setting the binding of the set binding, and we don't do that anymore, right? Binding in, binding out. This is the reason why, I think. So the binding is just set equal here. I think that's why it's always equal. I'm adding some kind of translation here, so I do not do that anymore. Well, and this is the reason, really. Binding in binding equals binding out binding. So adding the translation here is a no-op because of this assert already. Yeah, well, we don't have a binding anymore, so I cannot do the assert anymore. Because the set binding is now set index hint only. What the hell is going on here? Increment of binding in and out. What? But that was a set binding, right? Do we have an increment operator here? Access source used as key. I don't see an increment operator. Oh no, this is the binding in. It's an iterator. It runs over all the bindings. So that should stay. But then what about this binding here? Maybe we need that still. Yeah, we do stuff with bindings here, but we just don't need to store it in a map. If this line is important, then we need to keep this loop here. It feels like we should keep it, so bleh. What is the type of this thing? Sorted bindings is a vector. That's crypto set layout binding. Okay, just the real thing. L. says almost destroyed my laptop because I was stuck on a problem for 3 hours because I forgot to type a semicolon. Always nice to forget to close a namespace in the header also. So you get errors in some .cxx file. Because in an included header you forgot to close a namespace, and therefore everything that you declare is suddenly inside an unexpected namespace, and therefore no longer available somewhere else. At some point you start to recognize that. Like, if you see certain errors, I think, oh, I forgot to close a namespace in the header. But the first few times that you run into that, don't tell me that it compiles. What the hell? Convert. You still have a convert with the binding number. Excusez-moi. Why? We have to aim our editing skills at or editing guns at the set binding map. Flat gradient won't change the set binding map. So what this thing is doing now, it adds a conversion for set index hints from 1 to 2. I have no clue what is happening here, but okay. And binding map. Yeah, I don't want a binding map anymore. So also this thing should lose the binding, right? I'm just grab binding, delete everything that says binding. Yeah, the binding that we pass here, dude. Why are we passing a binding? Don't have bindings anymore. The set data. Well, the whole set data is also reduced now to a set index. No set data anymore. F0. Set data is a set index. Yeah, so this the index for this vector is a hint. So this translates set index hints to actual set indexes, as it should be. No more binding. The binding is now gone. Binding. No more set data stuff. Well, let me first do that one. Set data. No more set data. Good. Binding. Blah, 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 blah. We lost the binding there, and this binding is gone. Here's still a binding for a convert. convert set index hint binding that returns the map for that set index hint, and then get the binding map and then converts the binding. So we don't want to do that anymore because there is nothing to translate. This convert returns a set index, and that is just that map, except that it's not like that anymore. mSetMap is our vector, so we just return. I'm gonna rename it set index map from set index hint. Okay, now maybe we can understand this one. Yeah, this is a cast from set index hint to set index. And then we say if the index is larger than the current size, then we must resize it. Don't call it twice for the same set index hint. Must be undefined. And then we assign it. And this is just gone. There's no member named mSetIndex. My editor is a NeoVim, NVim, whatever. Close. NeoVim. The print on is no longer working. We're running over. Yeah, I don't think I want to run over something that doesn't exist. What is it doing here? Print prefix set index in get value dot binding. I guess we just don't know anything anymore about the binding, so we cannot print it like that. It's kind of sad-ish, yeah. It's all nice to know to see the binding as well at this point, but I guess you cannot do that anymore. There's no binding. And therefore the set index hint is just, it's printed as an integer here. Yeah, well, now we lost a nice format with the dot. Might as well print it with a hashtag. And then that is printing that what we go to set data. That would be set index hint. What is wrong here? Set index hint goes to set data. There's no set data. We have a set index. Alias. Yeah, that's what my mom said. Set index data is not declared in this scope. Did you mean set index hint? I just meant set index. Compile, compile. I'm going to put the FAQ standard in my description, I think. Bitcoin FTW. Yes, it is true. Binding. No, I don't see the error anymore. What is the error? No matching function to convert. Okay, there is no converting anymore for bindings, which means that a binding is simply whatever you try to convert, and that's this one. So the assert can be removed and be replaced basically by it is always equal. Yes, I'm a Russian, yeah. From the motherland, Russia. Or Rush. No, whatever. I cannot do this accent. VI. What? Oh, wait, no. Anyway, that is missing. Still don't understand the error, but there was an error, so that must have been it. Linking, linking, linking. So now it might actually work. That's not the one that I was changing. This is the one that was changing. and it does not crash, it just works. Nope, not getting paid. What shall we do next? Clean up the code, I guess. This is just an old cleanup that I wanted to do. Is that popcorn or French fries? You make me hungry, damn it. I was too lazy to go shopping today, so I did not have any food in the house. I already started cooking, which means I have like 80 grams of chicken meat in my meals, and I was started to bake it, and then my fridge was empty, so I did not have any vegetables or anything. So that was my dinner. 80 grams of chicken. It's not enough. Still feel a little bit hungry. Tomorrow when I get out of bed, I will go shopping. Otherwise I don't have breakfast, lunch or dinner. It's even too much for me. I could eat pea soup again, of course. Got enough soup. Does this need cleaning up? Yes, I want to rename the set binding map into something else. How shall I call my set binding map? Set index map? I'm calling it set index hint map here. So basically it maps hints to non-hints, but yeah. Nah, okay. I'll call it set index hint map. That is a lot. Going to do this one by hand, one by one, manually, because I have the feeling that there is loads of other things that need to be changed. We can delete this because the whole set binding map is replaced, right? Or not? No, it's not replaced. We have to rename it. So substitute set binding map with set index hint map. These callbacks are also going to be replaced, but that's the next to do thing. So instead, I guess I'll just rename that one, and then we have set binding map. We can also translate that. Substitute set binding binding, there we are, with set index hint, I guess. Set index hint, yes. Is this really the next line? Well, I guess it is. So let's replace that like that. Set index hint map callback. That was already replaced. Strange. Set index hint map callbacks. Yeah, guess we got them all now. Yeah, so we want to apply that translation and also that one. And then neither of them exists anymore. Set binding map. Scripter set binding map. Well, same thing, I guess. Change that and change that. From the top. Nope. Just a slash set binding map. And so on and so on. Yeah, I might as well put a percentage in front of this, I think. Set binding, set binding. They're all called set binding map. It's just the same thing. What? I just put a percentage in front of this. I didn't. Set index map. So confused. I do this the whole day, 7 days a week, Bitcoin. I just don't get paid, but for the rest, it's my full-time job without being paid. There is no next. Quit. Well, you can write it. Data input data.h pipeline factory, not txx. Find that one can be translated. Do set binding map callbacks. See, all of them end on map again. So this one can also be done like that. Factory.cxx was here. Now we are at that one. There's something to clean up here as well. The set binding map.cxx. Yeah, could have undone all the files at the same time, blindly. That's on hindsight. The last three. Yeah. Another attempt at looking at diff for what we need to clean up. Oh, binding map or change to set index in map. Yeah, it still have set binding. That needs to be renamed. Although I got rid of the map. Set binding.h still has an if 0. No, I forgot what it just said. Set binding.h or set binding map.h? Already looked for this one. Oh, I didn't. Oh, set binding. Ah, funny. Yeah, how it can stay. If these are set indexes, then why are they called set index hint? Did they replace the thing with the set index or with the set index hint? Damn it. Must have been a hint. I guess I call both of them. No more set binding. So also no set binding map. No files called like that. No mention function for call to vector index constructed from a set index int. And which vector index is that? Set layout. No matching function call to set index hint. My guess is I made the same mistake as I made a second ago. I call this thing here set index. Well, it should be a hint. Then the name is also a hint that it should have been called like that. Set index hint. They don't know. It doesn't know what set index hint is. Now you're going to be kidding me. This is in. Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know. Maybe it should include this. Descriptor set index.h. Yeah, just deleted include of the set binding.h. Thereby also no longer knowing what set index and set index hint is. Idiot. Set binding map was not declared in this scope. Did you mean next binding? No, I didn't. How can I have missed the set binding here? I guess I only edited files that contained set binding, which do not exist anymore at all. From the stop. Let's delete this. Reserve binding, reserve binding, reserve binding, reserve binding. There was a time that they could say they cannot remember anymore what it is, and it is commented out. Then it is so old that might as well, then it's probably not needed. Has been commented out for a long time. But with my memory, I could have commented it out yesterday. I'm gonna delete it. Pretty much done with the binding thing, so if it is finished and it works, then you don't need commented out functions. This is that function. This is that function. It exists. It should exist. Next binding from something. It's an uint32 type. Yeah. Set index hint is a set index hint. Next binding is a vector that takes a set index hint as index. This is not a problem. This is the problem. The halt in catch fire show. What is it? This? But hey, it compiles. Let's look at the diff again. Now, what did I forget? I remember that I edited this. So normally I would say, well, okay. But yeah, okay. This all the set data is deleted. From yeah, I'm leaning towards the if it compiles it works version. So the things that are almost the same size, red and green, are also not interested. Can even read that as like this. So red and green has the same size. And I already looked at it before, by the way. So the diffs, like a third time I look at this diff. Looks so as clean as the. Yeah, I wanted to say something, but involving. Well, no. Okay, so again, this commit is. Let's test if it compiles. That would be nice. Oh, test if it runs. I mean, oh, not this one. I keep running that one. It still runs. It still runs. No changes and everything. Okay, so we fix that. Let's commit it. Status git commit minus everything. Got rid of set binding. I watched YouTube about. I don't know how to pronounce his first name. Keanu Reeves, I guess. I'm not sure how to pronounce that name. His whole career, biography almost, but mostly centered on his acting career. The guy made a lot of movies that I didn't see. And when I got away from this YouTube is that apparently it is a very, very kind, gentle, generous person. Didn't really know that. So more respect for this guy. And he did not have an easy life. He has worked very, very hard before he became famous. When he finally got famous, he just gave away his money left and right. It's amazing. It's an amazing guy. So you're talking about a movie, so now I was thinking, I want to maybe watch more movies, even movies that the critics gave a bad review. Simply because now knowing that he's such a kind and gentle person, you cannot hate him. You cannot watch a movie and say, oh, he can't act. I mean, we all know he can act because he has brilliant movies on his name. I want to see all his movies. And he has the same age as me. Hey. But yeah, that to decide. I think it's a time-ish for maybe just stopping the stream again. Yeah, it's a really cool guy. He deserves every bit of happiness, like they said. But he also deserves the fame that he has, as long as he likes it at least. I don't think he was really into it for fame or neither fame nor money, actually. He just likes acting. Somewhere in the YouTube was that he came in very ordinary clothes to a place. I don't know what it exactly was, but they didn't let him in because the guy at the door didn't recognize him, and probably because he just came, with public transportation in the clothes that he was wearing. And instead of saying, "But I'm Keanu Reeves," and or maybe he was even the star or whatever, he just left. Or no, he wasn't left in. He went to the back of the queue, a long queue in the rain, with all the other people. That's what it said. Yeah. I guess he got in that way, soaking wet. I think it was something like maybe he wanted to enter in the door for the stars, and then the bouncer said, "Yeah, this is not an entrance. You have to go back, stand back at the back of the queue there." And then he did it. Brilliant. Okay, before I stop the stream, I have to remember what I was doing. I was working on this new task, right? That is in tests. Let me work on this one. .h. Yeah. I was going to put this lambda in its own state. Yeah. I'll do it tomorrow. Okay, Bear, thank you again, man, for being here. And everyone else, of course. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? What day is it today? Monday? It's Monday, right? Yep. Okay, good night.